news has just come in from Edinburgh as well, of a three-piece collective working at Slateford Green. This has hit Scottish news after this genius three-piece has chosen to compose a horror film to celebrate the 10-year anniversary. We hear that extensive research has been undergone into the sense of community at Slateford Green, and the trio believe that they will bring a fun, energetic project to the community. Now we cut to the committee chair, Paul Hutton.
Do you feel that it could be improved or should be improved? The sense of community here, or
there's always. I think you could improve a sense of community anywhere. Not everyone, in the same way that not everyone wants to be involved in community. Not everybody's doing something permanent.
Yeah.
So don't let that be.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be a zombie these days. If you're offering people that chance,
yeah.
It's an opportunity.
Do you think children would be, I say children, but I guess anyone really, would they be interested, do you think, in the services that we could bring?
I think they would have a wonderful time.
Yeah.
I think they would enjoy doing it.
Do you think that something like a project like this could be more successful as a community project than, say, erecting some sort of sculpture?
I think everyone wants to feel that everyone would want to feel that they've got an input into their surroundings, and everyone would want to feel that they've got an input into what goes on around them. I think that's a given, really.
Yeah.
The further thing that we had also wanted to do was we had talked about entering the film into the Edinburgh Film Festival.
Okay.
And the idea would also be to hold annual screenings of the film here, so that people can come back and laugh about how different they looked or how silly that was, or whatever.
Great.
And do you think that would work?
Yes.
Do you think people would be enthusiastic about an annual screening?
I would hope so. I would hope that if you've got enough people involved, then you're always going to have those people wanting to see it. So yeah, I would give that some consideration. Yeah.
And the film festival, we would hope would bring some sort of some ties with people, with the city centre as well. It's almost like you're kind of on a loop out here, and it would be something that people could come into the city with, but bringing that sense of community with them.
You're not just talking about geographical isolation. You're talking about hopefully involving people who would never think about going.
Exactly,
right?
You've got it in
so
one.
Yes, no, I think that's great, and I think if you're dealing with kids from the youth cafe, they would never normally think of going to see something at the Edinburgh Film Festival,
of course,
or consider that they might be in a film that would be at it. That's just lovely. That's just such a lovely idea.
Thank you, Paul. It's fascinating. We've heard that the film will definitely feature in this year's Edinburgh Festival, and we now cut to its curator, Joe Constable, where Alyssa Flegg will be talking to him. Over to you, Alyssa.
Joe, tell us a bit about your project.
Basically, it's an exhibition called House, and what we're going to be doing is appropriating a house or house-like space. So it is about renovating spaces. We want somewhere that's quite rough and ready and has lots of different rooms, different sizes for different types of artworks.
Do you have an idea as to where you're going to have this?
At the moment, the main space that we have in mind is called the Canongate Venture, which is on New Street on the corner of the Royal Mile. That's basically a dilapidated old schoolhouse, and it's quite good because it's just next to the Fruit Market Gallery, but it's also very near to the top of the Royal Mile where all the parades are, like the flowering people are. So it's kind of very close to the festival, but also slightly set off. So it's kind of one step away from the sort of mainstream of the festival.
And about this Slateford Green project, do you think that would fit into your ideas about what you want this exhibition to bring?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously because the exhibition is called House, we are going to want to have artwork that kind of responds to that term and what that term means in the different ways that it can be interpreted. And I think that your project in Slateford Green, that's pretty interesting, the idea of a housing estate. the idea of one, structure which has this sort of pseudo-community of lots of different people living together, and I think that the fact that your project brings that together is a really interesting idea, and I think that would fit quite well into this project, because essentially what we are doing is appropriating an empty space and filling it with lots of different types of people, artworks, ideas, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think it would be a good addition.
Right. What kind of audience are you intending to target to your exhibition?
Well, we were hoping to go for less of a conventional format of visiting exhibitions, so we wanted people to feel like they could just come to the space and move away from the traditional enter, look around and then leave again format of exhibition. And at the same time, I think that your project works really well for that, because you're making art with people, outside of the festival, people who wouldn't necessarily come into Edinburgh Centre every day, but we're bringing art that they're making outside of the city into the mainstream of the festival. So I think that that's a nice balance between outside and, more central ideas. Yeah.
Thank you, Alyssa and Joe. What a fascinating exhibition this sounds like it will be. We also have news that many experts will be working alongside Joe, Alyssa, Ben and Jess, including a certain talented expert from Telford College. Over to you, Jess Dunleavy. In addition to all of these, we will also be working alongside Alex, a professional musician who hopes to work directly alongside the children in the making of the spooky soundtrack. Ooh. The trio intend not only to introduce new classes but also integrate with pre-existing ones by getting to know things that already happen in Slateford Green. Leader of the Slateford Green Youth Cafe and most enthusiastic backer of the project is Derek, and we cut to you now. And there has been serious concern over whether a film is in fact a permanent addition or permanent piece of work for Slateford Green. We now cut to acclaimed film expert who is interviewed by Jessica Dunleavy.
Professor Trelawney, hi, nice to meet you, Jessica Dunleavy.
Alright.
Hi, I'm here on behalf of the Slateford Green Community Centre and ECA, Edinburgh College of Art. I just wanted to talk to you what your opinion is about the permanence of film. Can this constitute a permanent work of art?
Oh, I mean, I can't really think of a more permanent art form than film.
What makes you say that?
Because film is somewhat transient. So, I mean, you can whack up a public sculpture or something, can't you? But, I mean, that'll go in a few years. People won't really want to see it. A film, that's pretty permanent. You can stream it online even these days.
That is true. Is that easy to do?
Oh, very easy to do, very cheap. So if a young group of people wanted to do it, there'd be no problem.
What do you think the benefits are of having a film that you can look at year after year after year?
Have you ever watched Home Alone? I watch that year in, year out, it never gets old. That to me is a permanent piece of art.
So there's a sense of nostalgia.
Nostalgia.
What other emotions?
Community. Sorry, community, I reckon, community, yeah.
Can you expand on that?
Well, I mean, what a better way to bring a community together if... I mean, it depends how you really want to get a community together, innit, really? I mean, I'd say conversation. Conversation.
So, I mean, what other benefits do you think making a film as an art project can have?
I mean, everyone sort of gets involved, don't they? And gives a little bit themselves. And isn't that what community is all about?
So, not only is this film about the community, but it's made entirely by the community.
Correct.